Hello, hello, and welcome back to our weekly astrology podcast where we light our candles, grab our blankets, get cozy, and talk all things cosmos. I'm your host, astrologer, and coach, Sarah Posh, and this is our rising sign horoscopes, our tarot card readings for the Scorpio full moon. Trust me when I say you're not going to want to skip this episode or skip finding out what you need to know for the Scorpio full moon, because depending how you travel through this initiation portal that is the Scorpio full moon, that's going to set you up for one of the most rare and really it's kind of a sneaky thing that's happening in the Taurus New Moon and the Taurus lunar cycle. I think being in the know in this moment, honestly, you already know. The Scorpio full moon, it's forcing you to be honest. If you're denying anything, if there's anything you're resisting, changing, letting go, it's going to be taken away from you. It's going to be stripped from your grip. So go ahead, buckle up, cozy up, get your blanket, get your candle, and get ready. We're going to talk about the Scorpio full moon. Just a little preview of how this episode is going to go today. I'm going to start by giving the astrology overview for the Scorpio full moon, just a general reading on that Scorpio full moon. And then I'll give a little bit of tea about the other major transits that are happening during the Scorpio full moon week that are kind of baked into the astrology of this Scorpio full moon. And after that, you guessed it, we're going to get into your rising sign horoscope. So you can listen to just your rising sign, or you can also listen to your sun sign and your moon sign and just take whatever resonates, leave the rest. I was planning on doing the tarot card readings in separate videos, but because this video is being released on Thursday and the full moon is the next day, we're going to do them all together. We're going a throwback to how we were doing it before. So you're going to get it all in one video. And we should just start by mentioning that this Scorpio full moon, let's talk about Scorpio for a minute. Scorpio doesn't really fuck around. Like if Scorpio seems like it's fucking around, it's fucking with you because it's got some other game plan strategy going on that you just can't see. And this Scorpio full moon, its ruler Mars is dignified in Aries. So there's a lot of resourcing to support the intensity of the Scorpio full moon. But I just want to mention that there's also a sexiness to the intensity of this full moon. And that sexiness comes from our unwavering willingness to learn to see in the dark, to look into the dark, to confront the things that are staring us, maybe feeling like they're looking through us in the Scorpio full moon. And before we even jump into all of that, I'm curious, how's everybody doing? I'm so grateful for the shift in the energy and the transits after the Mars-Saturn fucking conjunction. It was so rough. It was so heavy and the energy just felt so, I don't know, like daunting and constipated, but luckily, Venus moved into Gemini, Uranus is in Gemini, and it's getting a little bit lighter, it's getting a little bit more fun, feeling a little bit more flow, returning to this astrology. And how are you feeling? Drop your rising sign below and tell me what's going on for you. And maybe make a mention what was happening for you back in November of 2025, because this full moon is a throwback to what was started in November 2025. And in case you didn't already know or you didn't remember, the Scorpio New Moon on November 19th, 2025, it was exactly conjunct Mercury retrograde. So the Mercury Cazimi in its mid-retrograde cycle was where this new moon, this cycle that we're culminating this week, this episode, began. And so the kind of tagline theme for today's episode and for all of your horoscopes is this theme of from rock bottom to honest living redemption arc. And I say that because I don't know about you, but back in November, I definitely hit a personal rock bottom. It had to do with burnout. There were a lot of really uncomfortable, hard truths that I had to confront, especially when it came to relationships and relationship dynamics and, the terms and agreements of those. And I realized looking back, getting to this point, it's like, oh my God, there was kind of this no going back after that point, after the wake-up call that was that Scorpio new moon. So where are you standing right now? Did you also have that harsh rock bottom wake-up call in November? Drop your rising sign. Let me know. Let me know if I'm not alone on that. And do you recognize where you stand in the redemption arc from that starting point? Because I'll never forget, I was talking to a friend about that rock bottom moment, that burnout moment for me. And she said something that totally threw me off. She was like, I love a good rock bottom. And I was like, are you like, she's got a lot of Aries energy. So I'm like, are you just being twisted? Like, what are you talking about? She's like, no, I'm not kidding. Because a rock bottom is the most solid foundation. And anytime I've ever experienced a rock bottom, or I've ever seen anybody else that I know experience a rock bottom, they don't just grow at a steady pace to the next level. They up level so much farther, so much faster, because they're coming off of that solid floor, that solid foundation. And it was like a really supportive reframe for me at that time, because I was really feeling pretty hard at myself for just recognizing where I was. I was standing at that rock bottom. And that's kind of the energy and the theme and the intention I want to bring in today's episode into your horoscopes. I want you to think about, if you're going through something that feels like you're in the rock bottom, it's okay. Or if you experienced it in November, do you recognize that it's creating that solid foundation, that solid floor for you to not just take a little jump of up level, but actually this huge leap? And you need to think about whatever bright light the Scorpio full moon is shining for us. It is showing us what still needs to change. Like, what's still the thing that we need to either bring to completion, find closure. And again, because it's Mars, it's Scorpio, it's Aries energy, like, I just don't get the sense it's going to be some typical full moon celebration moment. It might be a celebration, but that celebration has maybe a cathartic good cry behind it, or coming along with it. So don't be afraid if you get emotional, like we do on all full moons, but especially in this full moon. It's right on brand for this astrology. And then we're also going to talk in your horoscopes. There's another transit that's happening on the same day. Venus is making that sextile to Saturn in Aries. And I'm going to talk about why this is baked into the chart and why it's baked into your horoscope. I'm going to talk about why this is a special, kind of secret, hidden aspect that's supporting the success of whatever initiation the Scorpio full moon is bringing for you. So make sure to stay tuned as we get into the overall energy of the Scorpio full moon and your horoscopes. And if you're here and you're enjoying any of this content and you haven't already, please, it helps the channel so much. Hit that like button, maybe even hit subscribe and join the community, the Cozy with the Cosmos community, and be here every Thursday with us, or every time a video comes out. And I'm so excited. I get to officially tease all of you. We're going to launch our next level 1 Living Chartwork cohort open enrollment in the next couple of weeks. So make sure to stay tuned, to have your notifications on, maybe follow me on social media or add your email to my email list. All of this is linked below for you below this episode. That way you're going to be the first to know when that open enrollment opens, because it is a limited availability. We limit the amount of people that can join each cohort, because this is really intended to be an intimate, hands-on, small mentorship group where we're building real community, real relationships with our fellow astrology nerds and lovers. And we get into a lot of deep shit in Living Chartwork, because we're telling personal stories about all of the planets. So all of that's going to be linked below, and there's going to be more information coming out on the specifics. We are extending this program, so it's going to be a couple weeks longer than our first few rounds of the Living Chartwork level 1. And again, all that information coming soon. Stay tuned, but get excited, because I'm really excited. All right, let's go ahead. Let's jump into the episode. Again, we're going to start just overall general astrology interpretation for the Scorpio full moon and the major transits happening baked into this full moon phase, this full moon week. All right, so the Scorpio full moon is happening on Friday, May 1st. It's happening at 11 degrees and it's culminating exact at 10:23 a.m. Standard Pacific California time. So the two first things I want to talk about is that the full moon, as it's culminating, it's separating from a square to Pluto and Aquarius. So the last thing it did, the last conversation this moon had, was with that probably a little bit intense, a little bit high pressure valve conversation with Pluto and Aquarius. And now, after the full moon, the first thing that it gets to do is apply to this beautiful water trine to our exalted Jupiter in Cancer. So just that alone symbolically shows us that we're moving from that rock bottom to the honest living redemption arc. We love this. And this is also so helpful because it means that what we're moving into, it's like we're the guest at the exalted hotel that's welcoming us into these new territories of all these big 2026 astrology transits. transits and changes, and it's here to help us. Like, it has resources, it's adoring us, it's appreciating us, it's giving us all of these gifts to really feel confident as we move forward and step forward. So of course we love those kinds of conversations that our full moon is having. And then, like I mentioned before, this full moon, it's ruled by Mars, and Mars is currently dignified in Aries. So that means even though Mars can't technically see this full moon, it's in an aversion, Mars is able to give us what we need to get the job done, to get maybe a little bit of the follow through, if we've been delaying that, on all of the emotional honesty we are being called to recognize and act on. And this is the part that I'm going to be specifically bringing into your horoscopes today, so pay attention, is on the same day of the full moon, we have Venus in Gemini making a sextile to Saturn in Aries at 9 degrees. Okay, this kind of transit, this is one of the best transits for any kind of commitment when it comes to our values, our desires, our relationships, our people. Venus-Saturn in a supportive aspect like this, I mean, great election to get married, to say yes or say yes to the dress. And on that note, I want you to imagine Venus and Saturn, they're exchanging vows. It's like we are making some sort of formal commitment to Saturn and Aries, and Mars and Aries, we've got Mars and Aries, maybe he's curating the wedding, but he's definitely witnessing those vows and witnessing our formal commitments, our formal agreements. So definitely don't take your commitments lightly, and know the things that you truly commit to right now, that you come into clarity and you make a vow, whether that's a vow to yourself or a vow in a relationship, etc., etc. There is some guarantee of some long-term gain from this Venus-Saturn sextile, sort of hugging the invisible edges of the Scorpio full moon territory. And that also means that even if it doesn't pay off immediately, sometimes we need to delay our gratification in order to really prove that we're making a vow to something that really means something to us, that we're willing to go without for a little while longer if it means that we could raise the standard and the value for the long term. And then before I go forward into the other big transits that are going to happen, I want to go ahead and share, I found this article on kind of rock bottom to redemption. It's called When Life Breaks You, and I've linked this article below. It's a really incredible perspective. I've read it like 5 times in preparing for this episode. I highly recommend it. But it's an amazing article because it gives all of this scientifically backed research on the actual process of why hitting rock bottom forces us to change. It creates real transformation. What Scorpio or Scorpio planet doesn't love? Some opportunity for some real deep transformation. Shout out to Scorpios. We love you for that. And so I'm not going to read the entire article to you, although I did deliver this article in voice note chapters to a friend. But for now, I do want to read you a couple of quotes to kind of just set the stage for the vibe of the Scorpio full moon before we get into the transits and horoscopes in this episode. So the quote says, "Life has a way of shattering us, sometimes suddenly, sometimes slowly, leaving us starting at the pieces of what we thought was our future. Most people panic, freeze, or give up. Yet science and real-life stories reveal something shocking. These moments of collapse are not the end. They are the most powerful beginnings. When your world crumbles, your brain rewires, your identity clarifies, and your capacity to grow multiplies. Adversity triggers neuroplasticity. The brain grows new neural connections in response to difficulty, not comfort. This is why people often describe rock bottom as the moment they finally learned discipline, courage, emotional strength, and clarity. Your brain is literally rewiring for survival and eventually for greatness." And it says, "Reveals a hidden truth. Your mind is not waiting for life to get easier. It's waiting for you to see your pain differently. You become powerful the moment you recognize that your struggle is shaping, not breaking you." I mean, like, that's inspiring. So I think that this article is amazing. Again, check out that link below if you want to read more into all of the things that this article shares. And that kind of leads directly into the other transits happening this week. We've got Mercury entering into Taurus. And what's the first thing that Mercury in Taurus is going to do? Oh, you betcha. It's going to make that square to Pluto and Aquarius. And this transit might feel exceptionally loud because when it's making this square to Pluto, Pluto is actually in station. The same week of the the Scorpio full moon, Pluto is stationing retrograde at 5 degrees of Aquarius. When a planet is in station, so about to turn retrograde or direct and change its direction, it's said to have a greater potency, almost like a magnet drawing our attention to whatever that planet is doing in our charts and in our lives. It has the mic, it has the stage, it has the floor. So Pluto has the floor during the Scorpio full moon. Sounds about right. And the other thing that's happening is we're going to have Mars and Aries make that square to Jupiter in Cancer. And this is big because if we're talking about not just taking little steps, next steps, but big leaps into honest living, having this sense of redemption, that means that Mars square Jupiter, it's going to give us the inspiration, the courage to actually take some bold action, to get out of our comfort zones and to feel like we have the right resources, both internal resources and also external resources, to feel ready, to feel inspired, and to be available. Be available to be the one that not only makes the commitment or takes the vow, it's also the one that puts that into action. So we've got some energy that's helping support some follow through on whatever clarity comes up during the Scorpio full moon. So definitely use this energy, and even if fear is present, have the courage to take that big leap anyways. And the other final factor playing into all this energy is that once Mercury moves into Taurus, we're going to have a mutual reception between Mercury and Taurus and Venus and Gemini. So these planets and these signs are in an aversion. They can't technically see each other, but they're in each other's home signs. So they have that tin can phone line that we've talked about in previous episodes, this ability to exchange resources, to be in conversation, to help each other out kind of behind the scenes. And so kind of weaving the Venus sextile Saturn that's happening on the full moon with this mutual reception to Mercury and Taurus, I want you to kind of have this Mad Lib exercise in the backdrop of this full moon week, and also just the whole time that Mercury is going to be in Taurus for the next 2 weeks, which is like once you make this formal commitment to Saturn and Aries, you might be introduced to attract new possibilities, roadways, maybe make some new supportive connections in the Venus and Gemini area of your chart. And that's going to have this automatic synergy, relationship, and positive impact on Mercury and Taurus and the Taurus house of your life, almost like you can trade something in for a higher quality exchange, higher value standard. So all of these things are working together if you're willing to put in the work. And don't forget, this is the window before that Taurus new moon, our next lunar cycle. And it's really, really important that you show up and grow up and just show up like you mean it when you say it, you claim it, you wish for it, because the Taurus new moon, it kind of totally depends on it. Before you jump to your horoscope, I just want to inform you of the tarot deck that we're going to be using today. It's so freaking special to me. I actually got gifted this incredible tarot deck from one of our OGs of the first Living Chartwork series, and it's called the Telos 777. It has the traditional tarot system and then also astrology and the decans woven into the art, woven into the deck and interpretations. And all of the deck, all of the cards, they are custom painted, each one individually by M.M. Moline. And it's just like such an incredible body of work. They literally took years of intention and time to live through the decans associated with the cards. So the energy is infused into the cards. That's incredible. So definitely check this deck out. I'll have that link below as well. So all the links below. But we're going to do that for your tarot card portion of each reading. And don't forget, make sure you listen to your rising sign. But if you feel called, also check out your sun sign and your moon sign. Okay, guys, let's get into the horoscopes. And we're going to start, as we always do, with Aries and Aries rising. All right, so Aries, how are you doing? Hopefully a little bit better after the Saturn-Mars standoff in your first house. Did you become a bodybuilder in the last couple of weeks? Or were you feeling like you were being put to the test, being tested, being called to take the lead or to grow up and show up? Comment below and tell me what happened for you if you're an Aries rising. I need to know, how are you doing with all this intensity in your first house, babe? And this Scorpio full moon, I hope you're ready or not. The Scorpio full moon for you, it's happening in your 8th house. So it's illuminating this rock bottom to redemption arc that started back in November of 2025. We are here now. And we are being forced to look with this direct eye contact during the Scorpio full moon at your 8th house stuff, your baggage. It is like the emotional junk drawer of our chart. By the way, I highly encourage you, if you don't know about it, check out the 8th house webinar that Alexandra Blair did from 9 Lives Astrology. She has it up, I think, on her website. I can also link that below. I've only heard amazing things, people having such crazy epiphanies about the 8th house and their chart. So if anything's feeling murky, messy, confusing, like you can't really put a definition on what exactly the Scorpio Full Moon's about, then make sure definitely watch that webinar because that might be something to help you out. But right now, Aries, for you, it's like you have to get so honest. Is there anything left that you still need to clear the closet of that 8th house related to toxic entanglements? Or maybe there's some attachment issues. This has to do with how we exchange resources, time, energy, also intimacy with others. So it could be a loaded house, but there's also so much freedom when we do clean out the closet of that 8th house. This is the moment for you to say, you know what? I'm finally done. I'm going to put this pattern to rest, whether that's a coping mechanism, whether it's a pattern of overfunctioning, overgiving, not truly getting your needs and wants met in your relationships or in your exchanges. This is the moment to confront whatever it is that you're still trying to hide from yourself, whatever truth you're denying, or maybe just feeling a little bit hesitant about following through on, taking that action. Now's the moment, because again, when we get to the Taurus New Moon in a couple weeks, there's going to be a direct ROI in your 2nd house. Like you might actually just start making more money because you stopped engaging with the toxic person from your past or the toxic family member that always kind of bribes you with that thing, that resource that like, oh no, I'm being helpful, but it never actually helps you. Like there's something toxic there. All right, Aries, is this resonating? Let me know. And then let's weave in the Venus sextile Saturn and the Venus mutual reception with Mercury and Taurus. So this part of the full moon astrology for you is asking you to make a formal commitment to Saturn and Aries in your 1st house. So basically, you need to make a formal commitment with yourself, with who it is that you want to become or who it is that you're ready to leave behind. Like what version of you do you need to make this formal commitment to? And as you make that commitment, you exchange these vows, this is going to start to introduce you to attract new possibilities, maybe make supportive connections in your local communities, your daily rhythms, your daily schedules. There might just suddenly be a little bit more ease, a little bit more flow, like things are just kind of flowing together, happening together, conversations are happening, negotiations are going smoothly, but only if you're committed to showing up as this more mature Saturn and Aries version of you. And as you do all of this, there's just this kind of secret, sexy trade-in for a higher standard of living, a higher value quality with Mercury and Taurus in your 2nd house. So like I said before, all of this is connected. If you confront the ugly truths in that 8th house, if you let go of the toxic habits, toxic relationships, or toxic exchanges, then you're going to suddenly invite the space to receive a bigger bank account in that 2nd house. You're also going to amplify a genuine sense of self-worth. You're going to feel a sense of value, and you might even feel more materially supported and resourced to continue living the life that is this honest living redemption arc that I know so many of my Aries, like you're doing it. You're so doing it. And don't be afraid just because there might be one more ugly truth. There might be one more thing to admit. Oh no, I should probably not be doing that. That doesn't take away from how much you're already doing. I know all of the Aries I work with and I know I love, and they're working their ass off and they're already doing so much and there's so much progress. So just don't take away from that. Just know this astrology, this full moon, the sky is just calling you forward because it knows what you're capable of. So push yourself to step into your potential by dropping the bad habits. All right, we're going to go ahead. We're going to pull your card for Aries and Aries rising. All right, so Aries, you've got the Aeon reversed, or in traditional tarot, this is the Judgment card reversed, the Pluto card in tarot. Well, how perfect that you're getting the Pluto card reversed, as Pluto's like, oh, hang up a minute. I'm going to go retrograde too. But Aries, this is also saying that there's one final thing that you're not confronting. This is the making that final judgment call. This is coming almost to the judgment call of Pluto, of gods, of Saturn and Aries, and answering this final call, which means accepting with courage, with bravery, the full emotional honesty the revelations that this full moon is bringing, that you're having, even if you wish you could ignore them right now. And this is also saying that you're kind of hesitating to have this final judgment, to have this final step across the threshold of what you're leaving behind and what you're stepping into. This is like total transformation, but it's incomplete. There's one final thing that you need to do, confront, or bring into completion so that you can make this transformation complete. So I want you to think about whatever's coming up, and however you're wrestling with that, whether it's a truth that's coming up or a decision or a relationship dynamic, and ask yourself, what would the future version of myself or this new Saturn and Aries part of me that's growing up and showing up in new ways, how would this new part of me respond, decide, participate with whatever it is that's coming up? Not the old part of me. If you're still operating from that old identity, it's keeping you stuck at this threshold of transformation. But if you step into this, babe, it's like total transformation. And Pluto loves a good sacrifice. Like Pluto will reward you richly, but you have to give up the thing that's actually toxic. It's no longer good for you. This could be like also, like I talked about earlier, these old coping mechanisms, these ways of resisting feeling whatever you need to feel in order to bring some sense of closure. This is not a bad thing. It's just a bad thing if you keep putting it off, if you keep denying the part of you that's fully capable of showing up. So Aries, be brave, be bold. You're an Aries rising. This is what we're here for. You go first. We follow you. So own it, babe. Own your power. Make the call. Answer the call. And drop in the comments below. Like, let me know. How are you feeling? Do you know what this is about? I'd love to hear. Tell me what's going on. And if you haven't already, I would appreciate it so much. Go ahead, hit the like button, maybe hype me up. You can share this video with friends or family. And you can also hit the subscribe button and join the community. Make that formal commitment to be here with us and get cozy every time we talk cosmos in a new episode. All right, Aries, thank you so much for being here today, for getting cozy. That's your horoscope. I'm wishing you the best, and I'll see you next time. Taurus, it's your turn. Taurus and Taurus rising. All right, how are we doing? Taurus, sun, moon, rising. This Scorpio full moon's happening in your 7th house, your place of partnership, of committing to your other people. And that can be business, it can be romantic, it can be friendly, it can be family, but it's anybody that we're in this one-on-one commitment, partnership, working with, or working through something with. So what's going on for you in relationships, Taurus? And what's been going on since November of 2025? Did you hit some sort of rock bottom moment in November of 2025? This Mercury retrograde Kazemi, Scorpio New Moon that was like, oh, hell no, this is not honest. You are not living honestly, and this is not going to work. And also, by admitting that and owning that and starting to get honest, do you feel like you've been moving towards this honest living redemption arc? Like, where are you standing right now? Drop in the comments below. Please tell me your rising sign and what's going on in your relationships. And also, that means for you, Taurus, the Scorpio full moon is saying it's the time. If you're putting anything off, if you're still kind of denying to others or to yourself what it is you actually want and need and the people that you're attracting or committing to, now's the time. Now is the time to double down, get extra honest, and say it and mean it. And don't forget the extra astrology help that's happening alongside the Scorpio full moon. We're talking about making that formal commitment for you, Taurus, to your 12th house. That means you need to make a formal commitment to the part of the chart that has to do with taking a step away, taking a full stop, taking a rest, taking a break. I feel like a broken record for Taurus talking about freaking letting go of overworking and overdoing. And so I don't know where you're at with this right now, but if you make a formal commitment, if you exchange this vow and you really mean it, you don't just say it, but you're ready to follow through on it, then you're going to get the benefit of being introduced to attract new possibilities, new roadways, and make new supportive, lucrative connections in your 2nd house, the house that is associated with our self-worth. So feeling a sense of personal value and also getting paid for it. So this is our livelihood, our material assets and resources. So you might feel more secure, more worthy when you follow through on doing less. That's a good deal. That's a good trade-off. If I were you, Taurus, I would take that deal. I would take that deal. I would make that vow. And because if you do that, then you're going to have this mutual reception, behind the scenes, beneficial exchange to Mercury and Taurus, getting to trade in for a higher standard of living, a higher quality, higher value in your first house. Like, you get to feel better about you. You get to get recognized by everybody else in a way that raises the standard for how you operate and move through the world, which is so beautiful, because that also means if you're the person that's like letting something go related to the Scorpio full moon in your 7th house, or letting somebody go, then this astrology, if you follow through on everything we just talked about, you're going to raise the value of what you bring out and attract in, how people recognize you in your first house. You also might just feel better. You might feel more alive. You might feel more on purpose. Your direction might feel genuinely more clear than it's ever felt. I don't know. I feel like that's worth it, but I'm gonna leave that up to you, Taurus. No pressure from me. Just a little pressure from, all the planets. Taurus, drop in the comments below. Tell me your rising sign and how this horoscope landed for you, where you're at for the Scorpio full moon, what's going on. Leave the comment. I need to know. And with that, let's go ahead. We're going to pull your tarot card. All right, Taurus, well, right on brand for the themes of the Scorpio full moon for you. You've got the 5 of Cups upright. This is associated with Mars in Scorpio, and the title of this card is Disappointment. So this is saying, Taurus, there is some sort of disappointment, being let down, maybe even like a disenchantment that was happening between you and the people you're committed to. Were you denying yourself a true, emotionally honest answer to saying yes to somebody, or what it is that you're attracted to, what it is that you want, or maybe you thought it was what you wanted, or you had some idea of what it could be? Like, did you fall in love with potential, Taurus? And this is saying, yes, that's really hard to have that disenchantment, to have that disappointment, but that's also a rock bottom in a sense, in a solid floor, to know that now going forward, you're not going to ignore those flags, and you're not going to waste time the second you know that there's not the actual consistency and follow through on the opposite end of the spectrum, and it's not working for you, or it's not fully satisfying what it is you really want, what it is you really need. You might be willing to let your stubborn ass stop sooner. I think all Taurus could benefit from that, from stopping sooner when they know it's not actually the highest quality. It's not really worth all of that time and effort that we know your loyal ass always follows through on for everybody else. So I kind of like this for you, Taurus. I know it's not super comfortable. It's not a super fun card, but this is really about getting honest, what it is you really want versus what you really have, and how doing less, or even making a commitment to Saturn and Aries in your 12th house, of really getting honest about your shadow work. Like, what shadows are keeping you in these unhealthy, disappointing freaking partnerships or contracts? Well, make the commitment to Saturn, drop the bullshit, close the old contracts, and open yourself up to something that's not disappointing, just something that actually surprises you with how good it can get, how good it can feel. I need to hear from my Taurus. How does this reading resonate? Please drop your rising sign below in the comments. Tell me what's going on, what's the down low in the Scorpio full moon 7th house for you. And if you haven't already, it helps the channel so much. Hit that like button, maybe hype a girl up, share the video, friends, family, whoever. And you can also subscribe to the channel. That also helps our channel and community grow here at Cozy with the Cosmos. Regardless, I appreciate you being here so much, Taurus. I'm wishing you the best of the best of the best, babe. You're a Taurus. You deserve it. And I'll see you next time. Let's get into Gemini and Gemini rising. All right, Geminis, let's spill the tea on the Scorpio full moon for you, which is happening in one of the least fun parts of the chart, the 6th house. But the 6th house isn't about what's fun, it's about what's necessary. This full moon, it's showing you what you're doing on a day-to-day basis, your daily time and energy expenditures, your responsibilities, your daily systems and structures, and how that's either in balance or out of balance. Like, is it draining you? Is it feeding something that's actually growing into something that you're enjoying? It's like when we put in the labor, the love and the labor into the 6th house, and it's a right action, a right effort, that means the payoff is maybe some promotion in our 10th house. Maybe it's getting paid more. We're getting more money. There's more revenues of income to the 2nd house. But a lot of times when we're not doing the 6th house right, we're overworking, we're overfunctioning, or we're putting our energy into things that don't truly matter to us and that drain us, or we are working harder instead of smarter. So Gemini, the Scorpio full moon is asking you, think back to November 2025. Was there some sort of harsh wake-up call? Was there some sort of rock bottom moment, maybe a burnout moment? How's your body doing? How is your body wellness doing right now? The Scorpio full moon, it wants to help you actually find a state of balance, find a state of ease, to feel good and to not leave your day and your efforts feeling burnt out, feeling drained, or feeling empty, right? Like you did so much, but it didn't really mean anything to you. So you kind of still leave with an emptiness. I want to hear from you. Drop in the comment below. Tell me what's going on for you, Gemini. What's happening at work? What's happening with your daily structures or your systems? And are you ready to follow through, to make the commitment, to make the change so you can jump full leap into this honest living redemption arc? Drop your rising sign and comment below, Gemini. I want to hear about it. And then don't forget this full moon, the other astrology that's going to be helping you follow through to make the most, to be successful in this threshold of the redemption arc. We have for you the formal commitment that you need to make. It's to Saturn and Aries. And so this means you need to not just say it, but really mean it and get ready to actually prove it when it comes to the 11th house of our friends, our allies, the people we surround ourselves with that promote us in achieving and reaching and actually bringing to fruition our biggest dreams, our biggest ambitions for the future. And maybe this is about really committing, like making this formal commitment to your big dreams, making a formal commitment to stop surrounding yourself with any kind of community, any kind of friendship or relationship that's not benefiting either your confidence and clarity in those big dreams, or it's actually draining you, like draining your energy, draining your capacity to be the person that makes those dreams a reality, like taking too much of your time and your energy, and you're not getting what you need in return. And if you make this formal commitment and you follow through, you have to follow through, then you get the opportunity to be introduced and attract new possibilities, new roadways, or make new supportive connections in your first house. So this feels like when you're surrounded by people that believe in you, you automatically start having new levels of self-belief. And you also have a greater sense of clarity and direction of what it is you want to do and how you want to get there. And there's like a radiance, a magnetism to you. When you step out into the world and people recognize you and you're interacting with people, that first house getting this boost, it's getting recognized by new people that have new resources, new benefactors that can support you. And that's all because you doubled down and made this commitment and followed through on taking your dreams and your future ambitions a hell of a lot more seriously. And I also love that the mutual reception that's happening from the first house to Mercury and Taurus and your 12th house feels like there's just a greater, maybe like natural letting go that can happen around the things that have felt difficult to let go. Maybe there's more space for grief, but also more space for closure, a readiness to finally move forward, to feel like you're dropping weight off of your shoulders or off of your heart, and a higher standard of living in the 12th house. I mean, that might not be visibly super impactful, but it's invaluable for living a genuinely honest life, a authentic life, and a life of peace instead of potentially feeling isolated or stuck, stuck in old things, stuck in old feelings. So I'd love to hear from my Geminis. How are we doing? Please drop your rising sign and comment below. Tell me what's going on and how this horoscope resonated for you. And I'm going to go ahead. We're going to pull your card. All right, Geminis, let's see what you got. We've got the Chariot reversed for you. This is associated with Cancer in the traditional tarot. And getting the Chariot reversed means that you're trying to force something and not letting it happen naturally. You're too focused on your willpower, on your action, and that's not leaving space for genuine flow and alignment so that other factors or other people can actually increase the ROI of your efforts. Like this card is telling you, the Scorpio full moon, it wants you to admit where you're overdoing it, where you're over efforting in that 6th house. And that could also mean like you need to update your systems or your structures that align with this next phase of life or this big dream that you're committing to. And don't forget, like, When we have the Chariot upright, so the second you get into more alignment, like more clarity and commitment, and you relax back a little bit, then things just flow. There is like a wave of momentum that can catch you and carry you so much further forward, and it doesn't require burnout. So definitely Geminis, take a step back, take a full pause, stop pushing for a second. And in that stillness, notice what's naturally moving, naturally flowing. Maybe the people that are naturally coming to you, or the inspiration that's genuinely motivating you to take the action. Get out of the mind, get out of the ego. And then, oh, babe, it's going to be so exciting. You've got Uranus in your first house now. Like, it's going to be so fun. It's going to be experimental. It's going to be different. It's going to be different in a way that you can never imagine. You've never lived. You've never experienced. But the only way you get to experience it is if you stop doing everything the old tired way you've always done it. All right, that is your reading for the Scorpio full moon. And if you haven't already, Gemini, please helps the channel so much. Like this video, maybe hype the video. Of course, comment below. You can also share it with your friends and your family. And if you want to join this Cozy with the Cosmos community long term, you want to make that formal commitment, subscribe to the channel, turn the notifications on, and that way you're never going to miss when we're here getting together, getting cozy, talking cosmos. All right, Gemini. That's all I got for you. Let's go ahead. We're going to get into our next sign, Cancer and Cancer rising. Alrighty, Cancer, Sun, Moon rising for the Scorpio full moon. It's happening for you in your 5th house of good fortune and good times, pleasure, romance, love. Ooh, Cancer, how you feeling? Are things getting heated and sexy? Or maybe you're feeling the rock bottom, final maybe breaking point of breaking through and breaking out of what's keeping you dry, what's keeping life feeling dry. I want you to think back to November 2025. What was your breakthrough clarity? Was there any sort of starting point, full circle moment coming to this point of the Scorpio full moon around your 5th house? This is also your creative life, the thing that lights you up, the thing that inspires you and delights you, and also just pleases you, the things you do just for fun. So it can also be relationships that are fun and sexy. A Scorpio 5th house, it wants to go deep. It wants to have some deep, vulnerable, raw conversations. It wants to get really inside of you. You know what I mean? Like really get to know the inside of you. So Cancer, you're going through this huge up level, and this is your moment, babe, to just, call it out. Call it out. If there's anything left, put all the cards on the table so that you can really call in like the best orgasms of your life, or, like the orgasm that comes after you actually bring a creative project or something that inspired you to fruition. When you're done with that painting or done with the script, with the film or the book, whatever it is for you, I want to hear. Cancer, drop a comment below. Tell me your rising sign. Tell me what it is that's lighting you up, what it is that's sparking that fire inside of you and feels really good and you're really excited about. And also let me know if there's somewhere in life the Scorpio full moon is confronting you, making you get super freaking honest with yourself about where you're withholding that, where you're letting things just stay on the surface when you desire something so much deeper. And let's talk a little bit about your formal commitment. For you, Cancer, this formal commitment that you're making to Saturn and Aries, this is to your 10th house of career. So it's time to take your career seriously, to take yourself seriously in your career, in your work life, to step up to the plate and say, I'm ready to be this version of me that gets recognized for the work that I'm putting out into the world, the things that I care about and the things I want to build my legacy around. And it's so cute because when you actually commit to that full on, no going back, you don't only just make that vow, you make the commitment and then you also follow through, especially while we still got that Mars in Aries, then you're going to get the Venus in Gemini introduction to attracting new possibilities, new roadways, making some supportive connections in matters of your 12th house. So it's like you're bringing some long-standing patterns, maybe some self-sabotaging patterns or some unhelpful ways of thinking about things and perceiving things that are actually getting in your way because you're so fixated on the wrong facts or the wrong vantage point of understanding something. This is the thing, that Gemini 12th house, it doesn't matter how many facts you have, how much research you do. Sometimes what you have to do is just accept the unknown. You have to get back into a state of curiosity instead of getting fixated on trying to find the answer or the truth. And so it's like this commitment to your work is going to free up you from any of those unhelpful patterns, that baggage. It also might help you process and grieve and find closure with any of the final chapters, the final stories, any of those final parts and pieces of your past, your old life. This is like a moment of saying, I'm ready to introduce myself to the possibility that things can be different. And part of that is giving myself permission to quiet the voice in my head, that fear voice. It can come along, put it in the back seat. Maybe that's what this is. Like maybe you get introduced to a new way of relating to that voice in your head in the 12th house in a way that it's not detrimental. It's not steering you off course or keeping you stuck. It can come with you, but you're in the driver's seat. Like Elizabeth Gilbert's Big Magic, fear is allowed to come, but fear does not get to pick the music and fear does not get to drive the car. So there's a lot of really good rewards that are going to impact you for the long term when you make this formal commitment and you follow through on this full moon. And that's also going to have this mutual reception, this kind of behind the scenes synergy in Mercury and Taurus in your 11th house. When you start embodying the version of you, committing to your career, committing to this legacy or being known for your work in the world, and you dismantle or disarm those unhelpful thoughts that have been stopping you before, then you get introduced to benefactors. You get introduced, you get into negotiations, you might even receive some resourcing, some gifts that are going to support you and uplift you and encourage your belief in your biggest dreams. So it's like getting connected to the right networks, the right communities. All of a sudden you have a new best friend and they are like your hype queen, the very hype queen you've always been missing and always wanted. But there's just a higher quality, a higher standard of living in this relationship house, in this friend house, in this network space, and this space where we can receive resourcing. We can actually receive some help from those other people. So definitely first step first, admit what's not actually turning you on. Admit what's draining your well of inspiration and pleasure and desire, and double down on living that honest life, the redemption arc of getting to go even deeper and have deeper joy, deeper pleasure, deeper just like access to your creative body, your creative life. That's going to be so fun. I'm so excited for my Cancers, and I'd love to hear. Please comment below. Let your girl in on what's happening. And with that, we're going to go ahead. We're going to get into your reading. All right, for my Cancers, Sun, Moon, Rising, you guys got the Nine of Swords reversed. So this is so perfect for that 12th house Gemini placement that we're talking about. You've got Uranus there now, so get excited for some disruptions to the status quo there. This Nine of Swords card is the cruelty card, and it's Mars and Gemini, but it came out reversed. So I feel like this card is telling you that this full moon is illuminating this turning point in the redemption arc where you're not battling yourself like you used to. You're no longer being cruel to yourself. You're not getting stuck in telling yourself that you don't deserve what it is that you really want, or that you're not good enough to have the success in your career that you always dreamed of. This is telling me that you're not stuck in the beliefs. This is actually maybe the first time that you've been able to put down the fight, put down the sword with yourself and make that new relationship with those voices. We're not rejecting them because then they just become shadows. They come out in unconscious ways. Instead, maybe you have a greater awareness and spaciousness to name them when they come up and they try to get in that driver's seat. And it just feels like you're ready. You're ready to full force, full steam ahead. You're ready to step up, step forward, and just receive the rewards of your hard work and your creative talents and your gifts, and to feel really good about it at the end of the day. So it's not about getting rid of the cruel thoughts or the fears and all that shit. It's not about getting rid of it. It's just not being victimized by it, not being victimized by our own negative thinking. So let me know, Cancers, how did this reading resonate? How was your horoscope? And if you haven't already, please like this video, maybe hype it, share it with your friends, your family. It helps the channel. And also, if you want to get cozy and stick around in the community, you can hit subscribe, turn your notifications on. That way you're never going to miss when we have a new episode come out and we gather around our candles with our blankies and talk all things cosmos. All right, Cancer, that is your reading for the Scorpio full moon. Thank you so much for being here. Let's go ahead and get into our next sign, Leo and Leo rising. All right, my Leo sun, moon, rising. We're talking about this Scorpio full moon that's happening in your 4th house. This is the floorboards of your chart, of your life. This is illuminating a major turning point around themes of security, home base, family, and also deepest version of emotional honesty and living a truly emotionally honest with ourselves life. So this is saying what was happening back in November of 2025. Was there some sort of turning point, rock bottom moment, a breakthrough around where you were denying your deeper feelings and needs, and maybe also coming into contact with your need to have a stable home, your home base, your sense of security and safety? What did you wake up to in November, and where is it at currently? Do you feel like you're in a full redemption arc, an honest living, an honest sense of security and safety? Or it could be that you're having more honesty when it comes to different family dynamics or your relationship to the family and the things that you carry forward versus the things you might choose to leave behind you. So Leo, this is the best time, if you haven't already, to invest in deepening your relationship with yourself, your own deeper emotional landscape inside, and really connecting with the final piece that you need, or the final thing you need to confront when it comes to really living with a sense of internal security, sourcing that sense of security inside of yourself, and also making sure that that matches your external home space, your place that you call home or home base. And we got to talk about this formal commitment that you're making. Leo, this is happening with Saturn and Aries in your 9th house. So you're being asked, make this formal commitment. Go ahead and say, yes, I'm saying yes to the long term. I'm saying yes to the long game. I'm saying yes to stepping out of student and stepping into teacher, maybe. Or maybe you're saying, I'm ready to go explore or to really invest and take seriously my spirituality, really taking into consideration my worldviews and my belief system, and just starting to double down on trusting the journey, trusting the process, doing what it takes so that you can live with a sense of internal peace and inspiration and confidence and courage, right? That 9th house, it needs you to be courageous. It needs you to be bold. It needs you to keep taking and pioneering whatever this path is that is your calling, that is your future and your long-term plans. And as you make this formal commitment and you actually follow through, especially with this Mars and Aries, this might be the best time to follow through, then that means you're going to get this behind the scenes secret support with Venus and Gemini introducing you to attract new possibilities, roadways, make new supportive connections in your 11th house. So you double down, you commit, and then all of a sudden, the right people at the right time, they come in to support you. You're surrounded by the right friends, the right allies. You might even have benefactors that reach out and want to resource you. They want to support you making your biggest dreams come true. It could be your audience grows if you're somebody who has an audience. The 9th house could be making a double down commitment, a formal commitment to a podcast or to some sort of public speaking or publishing. And that 11th house is like finally your audience gets to feel you. They get to see you. They get to connect with you. But either way, be open to the idea that there's so many people that want to connect with you, that want to support you. And that sense of belonging, it's waiting for you on the other side of saying yes to the calling, saying yes to the long game. And we can't miss talking about that mutual reception, because you're also going to get the Mercury and Taurus ROI and exchange. You're trading in for a higher value exchange in your 10th house. Does this mean you finally get to do the work you've always dreamed to do? You finally get that promotion. Maybe you're finally doing something in work, in career, or being recognized for what it is that you bring to your work, you bring to the job. And it's feeling like whatever it is you're doing in the world, it has a greater value impact both for the people you're impacting, but also for yourself. You get to feel the exchange of that. You get to feel the ROI of that in a bigger way, in a better way. So this is so exciting. I love this for my Leos, and it's a perfect setup because soon enough, not too far away, Jupiter's going to enter into your first house. You're going to be done with that Jupiter in the 12th, doing all the behind the scenes healing, clearing of the closets, closures, griefs. I know it is not fun, but it is really worth it because then Jupiter jumps in and it's go time, babe. So this full moon, if there's any final changes, any final endings, any final honest answers or communications, this is the time. Do it. Don't waste it. Don't sit on it. You deserve the best, Leo. We know this. Okay, let's go ahead. We're going to do your card reading. All right, Leos. Ooh, we've got the Eight of Swords reversed for my Leos. So this card in this deck, it's interference. It is the Jupiter and Gemini card. So this is interesting because it came out reversed. And so instead of feeling stuck because you're not admitting what's holding you back, like what old thoughts, what old beliefs, what limiting beliefs, or maybe indecision, maybe you've been sitting in indecision, or that's been an old pattern that's kept you stuck before. With the Eight of Swords reversed, it feels like the Scorpio full moon is showing you you are a new version of yourself that even if fear comes up, even if a lot of options come up, you're getting more decisive. You're doubling down on those formal commitments in the Aries place of your chart and trusting yourself and saying yes and taking bold action and learning as you go. So I like that this came out reversed, and I think this Scorpio full moon is congratulating you. It's giving you props. It's saying keep doing what you're doing. Keep not holding yourself back from these old stories. You're slaying those limiting beliefs. You're stepping into so much clarity, so much more confidence. So we like that, Leos. I want to hear from you. Please tell me, how did that resonate? What are you feeling when it comes to making decisions, when it feels like believing in yourself, and also, really making sure that you're having those encouraging, motivating, like, I can do this thoughts in your brain when you're taking those big risks. I want to hear from you. Please let me know. And also, please like this video, maybe hype the video. You can always share this video with your friends, with your family. And if you want to stick around, you want to hang out, get cozy, and be a part of this community, hit the subscribe button, turn those notifications on. And that way, every time we come together, we circle up with our candle and our blankie, you'll be here. You'll be in the know. All right, Leos, thank you so much. That's your reading for this full moon. Let's get into Virgo and Virgo rising. All right, Virgo, sun, moon, rising. How we doing? We're celebrating this Scorpio full moon. It's happening in your third house. So this full moon, it's asking you, think back to November. What was coming up in November? Maybe around communications, communication patterns. Maybe there was something about your day-to-day schedule and structure, your rhythms, or it could be some peer relationships, some sibling relationships. Do you look back and see any sort of major turning point that was started around November 2025? And then full circle to this moment. Now we're in this redemption arc, babe. So how have you come to this place of hopefully having this more honest living? I love the Scorpio third house placement for my Virgos because Virgos know they're very sensitive to the good and the bad. Judgment can be used against yourself sometimes. You can be so caught up in not wanting to do the wrong thing or say the wrong thing that it prevents you from just being honest, saying the hard thing. I feel like this full moon is giving you permission to fully step into the version of you that knows how to confront and assert your truth, your deeper, bigger truths, and to communicate in a way that's honest without being afraid of conflict, without being afraid of how it's received or somebody judging it as harsh or bad. You're owning your power when it comes to owning your voice, and maybe also interrupting, bringing to an end. This full moon is telling you, if you don't already get it, now you're probably going to be forced to get it, that if you don't live honestly, if you don't say to the people around you what it is that you really feel or really want and need, then nothing you want can actually happen. So definitely, if you're sitting on some truth bombs, I'm sure the energy, especially that Mercury-Pluto square, it's going to bring it up. It's going to bring it up, but you're going to know how to handle it because there's a version of you now that this version, They ain't scared. You ain't scared. And don't forget, hidden behind this full moon supporting you is that formal commitment that you're being invited to make to Saturn and Aries in your 8th house. So basically, it's time to take the vow of your bottom line standard of exchange. You are being asked to take yourself seriously when you say, this is what I give in exchange for what I expect to receive. And also making a commitment to letting go of the baggage that's keeping you from really having mature, healthy, deep and intimate relationships. This 8th house, it can come with a lot of baggage. There's a lot that goes on in the 8th house. But with Saturn here, it's asking you to grow up and show up and say, okay, I can't keep pushing people away because I'm scared. That would be 8th house stuff. Or I can't keep saying yes to people that aren't actually meeting me where I'm meeting them. I'm not getting anything out of this equation. Saturn's like, okay, prove it. So make that formal commitment. And while Mars is here in Aries, follow through, even if there's not instant gratification. If you do it right now, there's a really, really good indication for some long-term gratification, satisfaction, and that formal commitment and follow through. It's going to give you that Venus and Gemini in your 10th house, an introduction to new possibilities, attracting new connections, supportive roadways opening that weren't previously possible in your work, in your career, in the trajectory of your legacy and the work that you do in the world. So when you follow through on really communicating your honest truth and holding your line of your standard, your expectations, your boundary work, all of a sudden people start seeing you different. They're like, oh my God, who dis? And you get all these opportunities, maybe promotions in work. And so expect that. Expect a call to maybe step into more leadership. Expect some supportive magnetism when it comes to how you're recognized in the world. People are going to be seeing you, they're going to be eyeing you, and they're going to be excited to bring you on board or to respect you. There's like a respect factor, I feel, with this Virgo. And then we've got that Mercury in Taurus with the mutual exchange to that 10th house, Venus and Gemini, where there's this behind the scenes synergy where you're trading in for a higher value exchange. You're trading in for a higher standard of living, but for you, it's in the 9th house. So it's like a higher standard of thinking and believing. It's a higher standard of perception and worldview. This is maybe even giving you a higher quality connection to your long-term calling, your long-term plans, your long-term strategies. Maybe you're getting introduced to new people on the career and work side, and that's opening you up to new ways of getting to that big calling, destination, or stepping out of the student role into teaching, into more visibility in general, Virgo. We're talking about more visibility, and we're talking about these long-term plans getting a total upgrade. They're getting a total upgrade, the luxury long-term plans. That's what we're thinking for Virgos. Okay, so I love this for my Virgos. I want to hear, how did that horoscope resonate? How you doing? Drop your rising sign and comment below. Tell me what's going on at the Scorpio full moon, and I'm going to go ahead. We're going to pull your tarot. So Virgos, you've got the 7 of discs. You know, this deck calls it failure, and it's Saturn and Taurus. So I actually see the 7 of discs, though. When this card comes out, this is something about being too focused on how much still hasn't happened, like how much work is still left. So maybe there's a level of feeling exhausted at this point. Maybe you're feeling like you've been doing the work, you've been grinding, it's taken so long, and all you can do is think about, will it ever happen? Will I ever be done? I have to keep toiling and toiling. But it's distracting you from seeing how far you've actually come, how much progress has been made, how much value there has been in the efforts you've put in. And this card is saying it's time, yes, definitely testing your patience, definitely testing your trust in the process, your trust in the timing. So don't give up now, keep going. You know, chop wood, carry water, keep putting in the effort. If it really means something to you, if it's something that you really, really want, it's something that really matters to you, this card is saying don't stop now, and don't forget to look up once in a while and remember how far you've come. And you can use that as leverage for that 8th house commitment to Saturn to say, oh yeah, I have done so much work. I'm not putting up with bullshit. I'm not agreeing to the terms and agreements with people where the exchanges aren't of high value or they don't actually meet a standard that's better than bare minimum. You got to get out of the bare minimum mindset, and you got to not judge your value, your self-worth to receiving those things, almost like not judging your deservability just on the fact that it hasn't happened yet. So that's something I'm getting for Virgos, and I'm curious, how does that resonate? I'd love to hear. And also, if you're still here and you haven't already, go ahead, hit the like button, maybe hype button, share this video with your friends, with your family. And if you want to stick around and get cozy in our community, hit the subscribe button and turn your notifications on. That way you're always here. You're always notified when a new video comes out and we cozy up and we talk cosmos. Okay, Virgo. All right. Thank you so much, Virgo. That's your reading and your horoscope for the Scorpio full moon. I love you so much and I'll see you next time. Let's get into our next sign, Libra, sun, moon, rising. Oh, Libra, sun, moon, rising. How are we doing? How is everybody else feeling with that Saturn in the 7th house transit? Are you feeling better just like me? I mean, it's been heavy, it's been hard, but it's also been worth it. It hasn't shown up in the way I expected. I expected it to be having to deal with a lot of bullshit in partnerships and things like that, but actually it's feeling like it's testing my ability to be the version of myself that actually can hold the partnership, can hold the relationships that are at this higher standard that are coming to me. So I'm curious, what's going on with you? Drop in that comment below if you feel so inclined. But today we're talking about the Scorpio full moon and how for you, it's shining this light in your 2nd house. I want you to think back to November 2025 when we had the new moon. What were you hitting some sort of rock bottom moment? Maybe you had a burnout moment like me. I don't wish that on anyone, but there was some sort of no going back clarity that came through and a change that you had to confront in regards to your 2nd house of self-worth, of the way that you take care of yourself and the way that you supply yourself to feel resourced. So it could also be what you were receiving in exchange for what you were giving. It maybe was a wake-up call around valuing yourself and maybe over-functioning. And on a deeper level, the 2nd house is where we get our needs met so that we can actually not just live in survival mode, but we can live in a thrive mode. And whatever happened, whatever started back in November, it's on this redemption arc, and this full moon, it wants the best for you. Even if it's hard to look at, even if it's hard to admit, the final shadow work that you have to do around this area of your life and your inner world, when you show up and do the hard labor of owning your own value and owning your own feelings and needs, like what you really, really need, then this full moon is going to reward you. And the next new moon in Taurus, you might get a whole new version, a whole new contract given to you for negotiation with terms and agreements and in exchange with others and collaborations and partnership that feels genuinely reciprocal and also life-giving. It could be a whole new standard. It could feel so good, so much better than you ever imagined. So I'm excited to see what comes on the Taurus new moon after we make our formal commitments, though. Don't forget, you have to make this formal commitment to Saturn and Aries in your 7th house. So maybe you're making a formal commitment to another person. Maybe you're getting married. Maybe you're saying yes to the dress. I don't know. Maybe you're also making the formal commitment to drop the dead weight of that 7th house. Maybe it's finally walking away, letting something come to an end so you can open yourself up to receive something that is more aligned for who you are today, the version of you today. And if you make this formal commitment and you actually follow through on it for this new standard of partnership, this new standard of what actually feels balanced in your partnerships, then you're going to get that Venus and Gemini introduction to attracting new possibilities. New literal roadways might actually open up, or you might get some supportive connections related to your 9th house. So this is like all of a sudden imagining your future and your long-term plans, your long-term trajectory. You're going to imagine it in completely new ways. There's going to be so many new exciting places that you get to explore, you get to travel, you get to imagine yourself going in so many different directions, not just going the distance. And you might even also make some supportive connections in your mind and your belief system and your worldview and your spirituality. There's definitely something about belief coming through that feels exciting. It can feel liberating. And it also feels like an invitation to greater flow, greater ease, like driving on a smoother road for the long road trip. And then don't forget Mercury and Taurus. We're getting that mutual reception to that Venus and Gemini. So all of these new possibilities, new connections, new directions that are opening up in your ninth house, that's also going to give you this opportunity to have a higher trade-in value, a higher value exchange in your negotiations in your eighth house. So literally, when you realize there's so many other possibilities and directions that you could go, then you don't have this pressure of saying yes when you mean no. So it's definitely an upgrade. It's definitely an upgrade in your relationships and in your true self-worth, like really valuing yourself. I'm really excited. I'm excited to see my Libras start to believe that who they are, what they have to offer is way bigger and way more valuable than maybe they've ever given themselves credit for. And oh my God, life could be so different when you're not the one that's always trying to balance out the equation. You're actually just in this honest living where it's the right equation, it matches or it doesn't, and you walk away. So definitely let me know in the comments, where are you at? What resonated from that horoscope? And I'm going to go ahead, we're going to pull your card for the Scorpio full moon. All right, my Libra's got the Four of Discs reversed. So in this deck, this is the power card. It's also the Sun in Capricorn. And when the Four of Discs comes out reversed, there is a theme of restructuring. So for you, it might be that this redemption arc, wherever you're at and whatever started in November, it's opened you up to let go of rigid ways of thinking of how you needed to create security, material security, what you needed to hold on to, what structures you were maybe gripping or ways of doing things or making money or providing that sense of security and stability for yourself. You're not there right now. The Scorpio full moon is starting to soften that grip. It's starting to invite you into new ways of thinking about what actually is stability and security and what are new ways of building that for myself. So there's some foundational restructuring happening, and I think that's really exciting for you, Libras. I'm curious, does this resonate? Are you going through some restructuring, maybe financial restructuring? Maybe right now it's a moment of trusting space in between where you kind of have to trust that if you let go of that grip of how you've always created that sense of security and stability, that doesn't mean it's not going to happen. It means that you're going to have to open yourself up to the trust that there's an even better way to make it happen. And you don't have to sacrifice something else for it. It's coming back to this second, eighth house dynamic for me, where there's like this, oh, I can actually have it all. Oh, I can actually be really excited and lit up and happy and all my needs are met. And it's totally safe and secure. There's so much stability and fun. What? Oh my God. I don't know. Let me know. Let me know how that's resonating. Drop it in the comments below. If you're not a Libra rising, tell me your rising sign. Tell me how this reading resonated and where you're at for the full moon. And if you haven't already, please like this video, hit that hype button, or maybe you want to subscribe to the channel. That way you can just join our little cozy community. And every time we have a video come out, you'll be here to talk cosmos with your candle and your blankie. All right. Thank you so much, Libra. I appreciate all of you for being here. We're ready for our next sign, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising. Woo! It's your full moon, babe. So Scorpios, in case you didn't know, this full moon's in your first house. It's the only house in the entire chart that only has to do with you. So what's the wake-up call? What's the solid floor from a rock bottom that there's no denying it? There's no denying it when it comes to you and where you prioritize yourself and your own life and everything else that's happening and everywhere else you're needed. This Scorpio full moon, it's confronting you. It's saying, babe, if you're still denying yourself in your own life or you're still not living that honest life, this is the moment to just confront it. Just make the change. I mean, God forbid, Scorpios, this is the best time to do it and to trust yourself, to step into actually trusting you have everything you need within you, trusting that you deserve to live a life that includes you in the equation. So don't deny yourself. Don't deny maybe some hard truths that might come up at the time of this full moon. Don't forget, we're going to have some implications with that Mercury Pluto. So there might actually be a hard conversation that you have to have, but this is the moment to be honest, to trust that you can deliver the honest, hard truths. You can stand up for yourself. You can advocate for yourself, and you can do so in a way that leaves you feeling more at peace. But definitely not a time to deny what it is you're really feeling, what it is you're really needing, what you want, what's out of balance, what's out of whack, and how you need to just like legitimately, you need to stand up for yours. You need to be like, yeah, I matter. I matter here. Wait, no one's going to do this for me but me. No one's going to put you first but you. And once you do that, everything else falls into place or it falls away because it wasn't meant for you. And we also got to talk about this formal commitment. So Scorpios, you're making this formal commitment to Saturn and Aries in your 6th house. I mean, that kind of adds up, doesn't it? Because this is probably potentially where the hard lessons are coming up around where you're overdoing it, overgiving, or neglecting yourself in your work life, your everyday work, your energy and time expenditures. You're drained potentially, you're burnt out. Maybe your body is starting to become a messenger because it's really trying to reach your attention to say, this isn't working. We're doing this way, way, way wrong. I'm working way too hard. How can I start working smarter, not harder? Where do I need to implement some boundaries around my time, around what I say, yes, I'm going to be responsible for. I'm going to take care of that. This is a moment. Make that formal commitment to Saturn of your day-to-day commitments, your systems, your structures, and also taking care of your body. Make that commitment, and then you get that Venus and Gemini introduction to attract new possibilities, new roadways, make these supportive connections and collaborations in your 8th house. So then all of a sudden I commit, I put boundaries up, I stop doing too much, I say no, I delegate, I put in a smarter system, I hire help. I don't know what it is, but then all of a sudden it feels like your exchanges with others are so much more balanced. It feels like, oh, now there's people who want to collaborate with me. Maybe they actually want to give me more. Maybe they want to pay me more. Maybe they want to share more of their resources with me. Maybe it develops a deeper bond with somebody that you're in relationship with. We don't just exchange material things with other people. We also exchange emotional energy with other people. So it might be an opportunity where you finally get to receive that quality of care that maybe you feel like you've been lacking or been missing. And it's going to be in a way that you've never experienced it before because Uranus is here. And this 8th house, this idea of being in these karmic contracts or exchanges with others, it's time to shake it up. It's time to shake loose the baggage that's kept you from owning your value and asking and receiving it in return. And if you do that, you follow through to Saturn, you get the upgrade in your way of thinking about exchanges. You're going to have that Mercury in Taurus. You get a trade-in in the 7th house for a higher value partnership. People, you actually are like, oh, wow, the standard of living when it comes to who I partner with and the way my partnerships feel and how they leave space for me to put myself first or just anywhere in the equation of my life, that's going to be an automatic behind the scenes ROI from all of this full moon's confrontation and follow through and commitment. So that's your horoscope for the full moon. And I would love to hear, Scorpio, if any of this resonated, could you please let me know? If you're not a Scorpio rising, please drop your rising sign so I know what your rising sign is, where it's actually happening in your chart, and tell me what's going on for you. Tell me what's coming up and how you're feeling at the time of the full moon. It's your full moon after all. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and we're going to pull your card for the full moon. All right. Ooh. Yeah. Okay. Someone's got something to say. Either you got something to say or somebody's going to be coming at you because you got the 5 of Swords. 5 of Swords is Venus and Aquarius. And in this deck, it is the defeat card. Venus and Aquarius, this is being able to have the discernment, that fixed Saturn sign, that air sign of emotional detachment, staying objective, staying neutral, and emotionally uninvolved in seeing things clearly, communicating things clearly. This is a no bullshit card. And this is also a card, when this comes out, it's saying that there might be some nonsense, like people are projecting nonsense or having nonsense conversations that might be triggering, but it's actually a call for up-leveling for you to check in with yourself. Right now at this full moon, how have you been maybe in some power struggles in communication or even in the way you're thinking about something with yourself? We're thinking about the air sign. So it's intellect, it's communication, it's social. And what would it be like if you showed up as a different version of yourself who related to their power in a different way? If you keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result, That's the definition of insanity. So you need to show up different. Say less, maybe it's withdrawing your energy, or you need to stand up for yourself. You need to actually say the truth bomb, the hard, honest truth. And you are being asked to be accountable, to be honest, and stay out of being defensive. Don't get caught up in nonsense that doesn't matter. Really check in. Does it matter? Even if it matters on the level of doing this proves to myself that I don't just neglect my truth or my needs. I'm brave enough to set the hard boundary or to say the hard truth or have that hard conversation if I need to, even if it's uncomfortable for me or the other person, maybe both. Or I need to stop defending myself to annoying little birds that are pecking at me. Like, shut the fucking window, walk away. All right, that's your reading for the Scorpio full moon. Kind of intense, but I'm kind of here for it. How you feeling? How did that resonate? Let me know. And also, if you could like the video, maybe hit that hype button and share this video with anybody you think it might resonate and support. I would love and appreciate that so much. And Scorpio, if you want to hang out, you want to get cozy and be in the community, you can hit the subscribe button. You can turn your notifications on. And that way, every time we bring one of these videos to the table, we get into these cosmic conversations, you'll be here. You'll be here. I'll be here. We'll be here. It'll be great. All right. Thank you so much, Scorpio. I appreciate you so much. Let's get into our next sign, Sagittarius and Sagittarius rising. All right, Sagittarius, sun, moon, rising. Babe, this is a big full moon for you. And it's happening in the place that I think resonates with the energy and the vibes of the Scorpio full moon, this rock bottom to redemption arc, more than any other sign, because we're talking about a full moon in your 12th house, the house of our hidden enemies. Sometimes the hidden enemies is our own damn self, right? So our self-sabotaging patterns or ways of thinking, it's also the baggage we carry when we resist the call to bring something to a close. This is the final call. This is the house of stepping away, taking a step back, putting something to rest so that a whole new cycle of life, a whole new potential can be born. But something new can't come until we make peace with what it is that's coming to an end. So if you are interested at all, I really encourage you, especially Sagittarius, to read that article that I mentioned in the beginning of this episode that's linked below. It's so good. It's so good. And it might give you a new vantage point of thinking about this 12th house so that you can bring some light into the darkness, let's say. And also part of what's playing into your ability to confront, make these final changes or bring something to a final end, really find closure or really put to rest those old self-sabotaging behaviors, old patterns. The way that you're going to support yourself to do that is by making that formal commitment to Saturn in Aries in your 5th house, which is so beautiful because basically it's saying, Sagittarius, you're the sign that needs to get way more honest with yourself about what really makes you feel good, what brings you joy, what brings you satisfaction, and not neglecting the area of life that feeds our creative spirit, that feeds our pleasure body, our desire body. You know, Saturn is saying, take your joy seriously, take your creativity seriously. And there's a maturity. There's something about making this formal commitment to have a more mature relationship with your desires, with what brings you joy. And maybe this formal commitment that you're making to Saturn, and also hopefully having some follow through while we've got Mars here, Mars is helping out. Maybe it's about reorienting around instant gratification. I mean, an Aries 5th house, it's like, I want it now. I'm just going to go get it. I'm just going to get it myself. I'm just going to do it right now. I'm going to not think about it. I'm going to get it and do it and think about it later. But maybe Saturn's giving you a good pause. Maybe you're making a formal commitment to be like, maybe I will sacrifice some short-term gratification in order to open myself up to have something that's more sustainable, something that's more meaningful, something that I could actually grow with. It could grow old and it could age like a fine wine. I won't open it too soon. I'll let it age. I'll let it air out. And as you make the formal commitment to Saturn in your 5th and this new relationship, this up level, a new version of you that relates to creativity and personal pleasure and romance, this is when you get that Venus and Gemini introduction to attract new possibilities, new roadways of connection, more supportive experiences that you have never experienced before, right? Uranus just got into Gemini and it's here to shake shit up in your 7th house of partnership. So partnerships are going to get more fun. They're going to be more electric. It's going to be more stimulating. You're going to be so curious and excited, and you're going to feel more connected and inspired potentially with the people that you're committed to or in partnership with. And you might actually meet somebody new. Maybe you've been on a dry spell with this Aries energy. Maybe you've been feeling lonely, or you've been feeling a lack of creative inspiration. You've been feeling a lack of connection, or a lack of attracting people that you're actually attracted to. You're like, I'm not attracted to what I used to be attracted to. But this full moon is like, if you do the 12th house work, you really do it, and you really make this formal commitment and follow through to Saturn, you're going to attract the best new people. It's going to be so fun. Your relationships are going to get so fun, and all of the good and the fun and the new that's happening with your partners, that's going to give this ROI, this exchange with the mutual reception to Mercury and Taurus in your 6th house. So there's this hidden exchange. You're trading in this Taurus 6th house terms and agreements, or the way that you go about your day-to-day work. Your work is going to change the amount of things that you're responsible for seeing through. The 6th house is the shit we got to get done. But maybe this whole full moon moment that we're having for you, Sagittarius, maybe it's a moment where you're like, oh, I can work so much smarter and not so hard. Oh, I can be putting in all of this effort every single day, and it actually feels like it pays off, or it actually feels like it matters, or I'm actually excited and motivated genuinely to show up and to do it, or I'm suddenly totally on board to hire some help, to make better structures and systems, to delegate in a way that's going to relieve me from anything that was leading to this standard of the 6th house of burning out, of overworking, overgiving, overdoing, over-efforting. I mean, I think that all sounds pretty nice, don't you, Sagittarius? Let me know. Drop in the comments below. Tell me how this horoscope resonated, and also where you at, how you doing, how you feeling at the time of the Scorpio full moon. Does it connect to anything that you can pinpoint in November 2025 when we had this new moon Mercury retrograde Cazimi? I would love to hear, and let's go ahead. We're going to get into your card reading. All right. Oh my God, Sag, you guys got the best card. By far, out of all the cards so far, you have the best card. I mean, it's so positive. Everyone else's cards were very Scorpio, like shit's getting real. You got the Fortune card, the Wheel of Fortune, the Jupiter card, and it came out upright. So I think this is saying, this full moon is saying, where on the wheel of fortune, you know, it's a wheel, it's a circle, it's a cycle. This card is about the ups and the downs. Life is a continuous cycle. Change is the only constant. And if we get stuck getting attached to the goods, the highs, or the lows, then we're missing out on the next turn. It's always turning. We're also losing our inner peace, losing our seat of power, right? So coming back to the center of this wheel, this is a moment the Scorpio full moon is saying, like, what trips your trigger? What gets you spinning, your wheels spinning in a way that prevents you from being available? Maybe it has been hard. Maybe you've been going through a really hard time, and there's been a lot of things that have gone wrong, or a lot of things that have ended, a lot of things that are just like, will it ever get better? Or will it ever just seem like things are happening and growing in a good way? Maybe they already are. Maybe those wheels are already in motion. Even if it's behind the scenes, something is turning for the better. There's a turn of the tide. You have to be in the center of the wheel, though, to even see and be available for it happening in order to receive it. But you got the Jupiter card, babe. So definitely come back to the center of your wheel, stop spinning, and let go. Let go of whatever has come to an end, and open yourself up to this wheel turning. And the Uranus and Gemini, I just feel like there's a whole new love life that's coming in, or a whole new idea of what pleasure and romance and fun gets to be. It's going to be completely different. It's going to surprise and delight you, but you have to believe it. You have to be available for it. So let me know, Sag, how does this reading resonate? Drop in the comments below. Tell me your rising sign. And please, if you haven't already, hit the like button, maybe hit the hype button. That'd be cool. You can also share this video with your friends, with your family, with your peeps, with your partners, your 7th house partners maybe. And if you want to hang out, you want to get cozy and be a part of our community, I would love that. You can also hit subscribe. You can turn your notifications on. That way you're in the channel, in the community, and you're always going to be in the know when a new video comes out. and we get cozy, we talk cosmos. I'd love to have you here. So thank you so much, Sag. I'm looking forward to hearing from you, and I'm wishing you the best. I'm wishing you the availability and the openness to receive the best that's obviously coming in for you. Okay, thank you. Let's get into Capricorn and Capricorn rising. All right, so this means we're talking about the Scorpio full moon for my Capricorn sun, moon, rising in your 11th house. This means we're hitting this honest living redemption arc moment, a breakthrough moment, a big leap moment in relationship to your friends, the people you call friends, in relationship to the bigger networks or communities that you're a part of. And the people that are our friends, they're in our network, they are in our bigger communities. If we're really in the right circle, we have the right belonging that's happening, that's resonating. Those are the very same people that become our benefactors, that actually prop us up to really believe in our biggest 11th house dreams. So this full moon, it is giving you this confrontation with one, maybe where it's time to get back in touch with believing, like really honestly believing in your biggest dreams, reclaiming them, resurrecting them, or it's really getting honest about who you surround yourself with and how they impact your vision and your belief and your future ambitions. If there was something that came up or started around November, think back to November. Did you have some sort of rock bottom moment related to these themes? Maybe it was a rock bottom moment where it felt crushing, like, how could I have big dreams? Life is showing me so much destruction or so much hardship, but it was also showing you how much the struggle that you might have been going through, it doesn't make it easier to also be living in a state of disbelief, in not having hope, right? But now there's some sort of new relationship to hope. There's some sort of new relationship to belief or in the future, having a dream for the future. You're coming into a right relationship, an honest relationship with that's actually going to be so much bigger and have such a more solid foundation than what it ever could have been before. You had to hit the rock bottom in order to have the solid floor, remember? So definitely think about that for this full moon. And let's also talk about the formal commitment that is happening to support you in the backdrop with Saturn and Aries in your 4th house. So this full moon, it's saying, yes, confront the 11th house stuff that we just talked about. And at the same time, something that's going to support you to successfully do all that is if you formally commit and you follow through. You've got Mars and Aries for the next little bitty. So follow through for sure. In regards to how you define stability, your home base, your need to come home, to put work down, your work-life balance, your place of rest, and your relationship to what it is that makes you feel at peace. So also your deeper floorboards, under the floorboards, feelings and needs that are the undercurrents of everything else in your life, your root system. Make a formal commitment to prioritizing this, to prioritizing a true, meaningful, high value relationship to your definition of home, your creation of home, and also making sure that you're spending time at home just as much as you're working, right? And also making a formal commitment to being honest with yourself about your inner emotional landscape, your own deeper feelings and needs. So I love that Saturn and this full moon, like this moment is saying, you have an opportunity, but you have to truly, truly believe, and you have to commit and follow through on the foundation of a stable life that leads to your dreams becoming a reality. You have to double down on regulating your nervous system and making sure that if it doesn't feel good, if it doesn't feel nourishing or stable or supportive, if it's dysregulating me or it's feeling like the ground is shaking when I'm in this space or in this relationship, I'm walking away. I'm committed to no longer giving that my time, my energy, etc., etc. And when you do that and you follow through, that's when you get the Venus in Gemini, the introduction to attract new possibilities. There's going to be new roadways, new ways of thinking, new supportive connections. You're about to get some flow state shit coming in your 6th house, your 6th house of systems and structures. The 6th house is the work we got to put in every single day. Someone's got to get the job done. But this whole thing of I'm doubling down on committing to believing that my biggest dreams, I'm going to give them hope. They deserve my belief. And I'm going to surround myself with people that encourage that belief. And I'm also going to make sure that I'm prioritizing my home, my sense of rest and taking a break. And when I have a work-life balance that's feeding this big dream, I'm going to have to do things in a different way in the sixth house. That means you're going to stop overworking, stop burnout, stop working harder instead of working smarter. So I'm really excited for you, Caps, because this Uranus and Gemini in the sixth, I think it's going to blow your mind. I think the Capricorns are going to blow our minds because they've always probably been working way too hard. And not that they're never working smart. You're also always working the smartest. But now you're going to have this Uranus and Gemini moment where you're like, oh my God, you're going to be the ones to show us the even easier, smarter way to do things. And with that, you get to not only do less, but you actually get to create more. You get to bring more dreams to fruition. And let's also talk about just a little bit the mutual reception with Mercury and Taurus. That's happening in your fifth house. So now let's link this in. As all of this kind of comes together and you find this balance and you get these systems and it's like, oh, wow, look how easy all this stuff can work. I don't have to do it all myself and it all just kind of works out. And then all of a sudden you have a higher standard, a higher quality of living when it comes to your creative life. When it comes to your house of pleasure and fun and romance, you're like, oh my God, I didn't realize how desert dry my fifth house was until all of a sudden this well of water and life force gets to pour back into this space of my life. There's going to be a beautiful heart expansion and uplift when you aren't giving way too much to just the struggle, to just in survival mode and doing it all yourself or working just way too hard. So let me know, how does that reading resonate, Capricorn? Are you excited for this transit, this Uranus and Gemini transit? How are you feeling about that? Drop in the comments and let me know. And I'm going to go ahead. We're going to pull your tarot card for this Scorpio full moon. All right, my Capricorns. Ooh, you guys got the same card as Libra. So if you want to listen to the Libra one, they obviously have a different reading, but they're the same card. There might be some messages that you get from both of those. You have the Four of Discs reversed. So in this deck, this is the Power card, and it's also the Sun and Capricorn card. Well, would you look at that? I love this for you, Caps, because basically when we see the Four of Discs reversed, I actually prefer to see it reversed in my opinion, because it means that you're not stuck in a rigid state of security. You're not like gripping onto control and trying to force or hold on to this idea of this is the way it has to be. This is the only structure that's ever worked. Right now, you're going through this rewiring, restructuring when it comes to your relationship to how you create stability and security for yourself and security and stability in your life. Ding, ding, ding. Saturn, Neptune in the fourth house. Hello, we love. And it's also restructuring your relationship to power, to being the fucking most badass boss that we've got in the zodiac. Capricorn is the Sun and Capricorn card. And so the Scorpio full moon, I just feel like it's activating. And even if it doesn't feel like it's totally put into place yet, this is reversed. So things like structures aren't quite stable yet, but they're going to come in, like new forms of stability and security in your structures, in your life structures, or the new structures that are happening in all these other areas we talked about. You're going to start to develop this new solid base, and it's going to be different. Let it be different. Let it reorganize, let it restructure, and continue to loosen that grip. Keep letting go of the old ways of doing things or the old ways of providing that security, that structure and stability for yourself, because as you keep doing that, an even greater solid floor, remember, from the rock bottom, a new solid floor will give you the opportunity to have those big leaps, those big honest living redemption arcs. So I'm really excited. That's a good read for my Caps. Let me know. Drop in the comments below. Did it resonate? How you doing? Tell me where you're at. And if you're still here and you haven't already, hit the like button maybe. That'd be cool. You could also hit the hype button and, you could subscribe. If you subscribe to the channel, that means you're going to be in our cozy community. You're going to be here every time that I release a new video and we talk cosmos, which I would love. I would love to have you, Capricorn. So I thank you so much for being here. We're ready. Let's get into our next sign, Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising. Okay, so Aquarius, this is a Scorpio full moon happening in your 10th house. So what's going on? What's coming up? what's hitting a culmination or turning point in matters of work, of career, of your leadership roles, or your sense of feeling like you have authority in the workplace? Are you feeling like you're getting recognized for the work that you're doing in the way that you really, truly, deeply, in a Scorpio way, desire? And was there some sort of breaking point, some sort of rock bottom or confronting truth that you had to face back in November of 2025? I want to hear what was going on for you in 2025. So drop in the comments below if there's anything that stands out. And then think to now. You're on this redemption arc, and this Scorpio full moon's kind of hitting this full stop moment, because if you've been denying it, you can no longer deny it. You're going to hit a breaking point where you're like, I'm fucking done. I'm fucking done doing these things for these people that don't even appreciate or recognize what it is that I'm doing or what it is that I bring to the table. Or you're getting this up level. You're getting this opportunity to finally maybe feel like you're really doing the work that you care to be doing. You're finally maybe getting a promotion, or you're confronting what's keeping you from getting that promotion, whether that's a self-belief or it's something going on in your workplace. But this is a moment where this Scorpio full moon, if there's anything that you are still avoiding or hesitating, really confronting, now is the time. Because if you confront it and you take that risk of saying no when you mean no versus saying yes when you mean no, that's actually going to open you up for career opportunities, for work opportunities, or for being appreciated and recognized and valued, or put and called into greater authority roles or leadership roles that are going to feel so good. You might get the promotion you've been waiting for a long time, because you finally admit to yourself what's not working and you stop playing small. Stop playing small. Oh my God, you got Pluto in the first house, babe. Don't worry, you have time. You have time. It's gonna keep growing and evolving. You got till 2044 with that Pluto transit. But I think the Scorpio full moon is really, really meaningful for you, for my Aquarius, and a major turning point in that longer Pluto trajectory. And let's talk about what's supporting you to step up to the plate, to really honestly step into what it is you really want to be doing, or what you really want to be known for, with the sexy Saturn-Venus sextile happening. So this is about you making this formal commitment to Saturn and Aries in your third house. Okay, well, this is all about our communication patterns and what we say and who we say it to, or maybe sometimes what we don't say. It also has to do with your daily schedule, structure of your daily schedule, the rhythm of your daily schedule. So maybe right now it's about making a formal commitment to have better Saturn boundaries around not overbooking your day. Saturn in Aries right now, it's telling you your next version of you, your next up level, it's going to come from you having a more strict isn't the word, like a more disciplined schedule. But discipline doesn't come from the old mindset of I have to do that thing because it's a thing I got to do, I'm responsible. No, Saturn in Aries, Saturn's in its fall. So it's honest scheduling. It's honest daily living, daily rhythms. So you're living in a way that's actually allowing you to live that feels good, that keeps your spark alive, that keeps your energy and your motivation. It feels so, so good. So I'm really curious what's coming up for you. What are you ready to say? I'm so done. I'm so done doing that thing every single day that doesn't actually serve me. It's like a time block in your schedule, or a person's phone call that you answer that interrupts the flow of your day that Saturn's put on do not disturb. Say you're not available to do that task. Time block yourself as busy, even if you're not, so that you stop doing shit that you don't care about and you open up more energy to actually pour into the things that you do care about, that you want to do, that you're inspired about. And when you set those boundaries and you follow through on them, so you got to make the vow and the commitment to Saturn, and then you actually have to follow through, and you have Mars there, so don't waste it. Don't sit on that. Now's a good time to do it. Then you're going to get the Venus and Gemini benefit and support of being introduced to attract new possibilities, new roadways, and supportive connections are going to start magnetizing towards you in your fifth house. I mean, babe, that's a really good space for an ROI. If you get some short-term lack of gratification, I did not say that right, but I'm getting near the end. Bear with me. But if you commit to Saturn, which means something's going to be uncomfortable. It's not going to feel good in the beginning. You're going to be like, I know I should do this. I know it's the thing I need to change. I'm just uncomfortable doing it. But if I do it, then, oh my God, those time blocks, maybe you're getting laid. Maybe you are getting introduced to some fun, pleasurable, romantic encounters or experiences. Maybe you have time during your day-to-day to actually not just go to the coffee shop to work. They have coffee shops in LA now that have EDM shows in the morning, and they're like meet and greets sometimes. They have little structured meet and greets for other singles out there. Or maybe that structured time that you're not putting in a place that isn't the place you should be putting it, maybe it opens up time to actually get back into your creative work. Maybe you've been wanting to get back into writing. You've been wanting to get back into painting, like something creative just for the fucking fun of it. Now you get to. Now you get to. And I think what's beautiful is that all of this is also connected to Mercury and Taurus in your 4th house, because there's that mutual reception between Mercury and Venus. So there's also all of a sudden, when you open up your day and space and time in the day-to-day to have fun, to have space for fun, just for the sake of fun or ease or creativity, you also automatically, without even thinking about it, suddenly realize, wow, I actually feel more secure within myself. I actually feel like my nervous system is more regulated. I feel like my foundation of life feels more solid because I'm not constantly running around. There's a greater, higher quality of relationship that you're going to just automatically feel and start to cultivate in your 4th house with Mercury and Taurus during these transits if you show up, you grow up, and you follow through. And just, again, super honest about work stuff. Just be super honest about what's not working with work stuff. Like, now's the time. Address it. Okay, so that's the horoscope portion of your reading. Now we're going to do the tarot card reading. And if you'd like, I would love, you can drop a comment below and tell me what's going on for you and how that horoscope resonated. I would love to hear my Aquarius. Okay, we've got this is so astrology good, 6 of Discs reversed. This is the success card, but it came out reversed. It's also associated with the moon in Taurus. And 6 of Discs, when it's upright, this is all about really supportive, symbiotic, good exchanges with others. It's reciprocity. It's the regeneration of resources through the give and take, the balance of what we put out and what we get back. It's community-based. It's good. It's success, right? But it's reversed. So this kind of really, really compounds everything we talked about in your horoscope. Aquarius, where are you feeling stuck around maybe pushing so hard for something to be a success when it comes to your work that it's actually the thing that's stopping you because you're not admitting that it can't work either with this job, with this boss, with this role, or with you undermining what your value is in what you provide, how you show up at work. You are the one that has to reclaim the success by rebalancing the give and take. That's what this card is saying. The give and take is off and you're trying to force something or you're denying and potentially over giving or over functioning. And this is a moment where the Scorpio Full Moon says, you know what? I'm done. I'm done starving myself in the hope, or people can say they're going to do something, they're going to pay you, they're going to, but it's like, I'm done like hoping for follow through and consistency. This is about exchanging your efforts and your talents and everything you're putting into work, but also owning the fact that you deserve to get paid. You deserve to not overextend. And also, if you don't stop overextending, it's not sustainable. If you keep overextending, the well will go dry. So I love that how that relates to the Saturn and Aries too, of, okay, what's the first thing that I would take off my schedule if I wasn't scared of letting somebody else down or scared of how I might be seen, because we're talking about a Scorpio full moon in the 10th house. So, visibility and recognition, it's playing into it, but you got to let go of something that's like, it's draining. It's not sustainable. And you're the only one that can do it. You're the only one that can do it for yourself. So, success is still here. It's here. It's waiting for you, but it needs you to stop giving so it can rebalance itself out and come to you. All right, that is your reading. I'd love to hear. Drop in the comments if it resonated or what resonated, and also maybe like the video if you haven't already. Hype the video, share the video with your friends, with your family, with your peeps. Definitely your work peeps. That'd be kind of a cool passive aggressive move. Just like, oh, look at this horoscope I just watched. Oh, they're like, it's Aquarius. I'm not an Aquarius. Like, oh, weird. Well, I don't know. Maybe you should just watch it anyways. All right. I love you, Aquarius. Thank you so much for being here. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Join the cozy community. We would love to have you. I would love to have you. You could be here every week, every episode, and that would be so fun. It'd be fun for me. I think it'd be fun for you, but no pressure. Do it feels good for you, babe. All right, so we are on our final sign. That means bye, Aquarius. Let's get into Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising. All right, Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising. The Scorpio Full Moon, it's happening for you in your 9th house, babe. And I love this because Pisces, you're this mutable water sign that knows that, life, it flows, it goes, it comes, it goes, it's here, it's there, it's anywhere, nowhere. Pisces, I love you so much. And I love that you're always the last sign when I'm always like the weirdest, because it just kind of matches the vibe for Pisces. But anyways, we're talking about the 9th house. So there's a full moon moment. This is your honest living redemption arc and confrontation, emotional honesty related to matters of your long-term plans, your long-term trajectory. The 9th house is where we step out of student and into teacher. It's where we step up and we look out and we see the whole picture. It's our worldviews, it's our beliefs, it's the things that hold the container and the context for all of life's ups and downs, the goods, the bads. And it's also this place of our calling. Sometimes you feel just called to go visit a place you've never been and you have no idea why. And when you get there, there's something that place was calling from within you to come out, but it couldn't come out unless you went to this place to find it. That's kind of the 9th house journey. That's kind of the vibe and the feeling is like, feeling that call to go towards something, even if you've never experienced it or never been guaranteed of its reality, of its realness. That's also why it can have to do with spirituality and our beliefs. Maybe it's a belief in a higher power or a connection to things like astrology. All kinds of things live in the 9th house. But I feel like this Scorpio full moon is asking you to think back to November of 2025, where we had the Scorpio New Moon with the Mercury retrograde Cazimi, and there was this hard truth or maybe a rock bottom moment of where you realized you were answering the wrong call, or you were conditioned to believe that what's always felt true and calling for you, what you've always felt called to do, or where you've always felt called to go and explore, you woke up to how that wasn't real. It wasn't really yours. Or you weren't really admitting the deeper thing you really wanted. Or you were getting really clear or getting called out, I guess I should say, on how you weren't actually allowing that to happen. Maybe you were getting in your own way. Maybe you were getting too impatient with not letting it play out, letting it kind of flow. I don't know. You'd have to check in with yourself. Maybe you could let me know though. Drop in the comments and let me know, because now you're on this redemption arc and this Scorpio full moon, wherever you are in that arc, now is your chance to invite in a final layer, a final thread, a final hard truth that's going to expose the deeper, truer path you're meant to journey on. And also the way to make it happen while feeling in that sense of faith and belief versus doubt or trying to will it your way. So I feel like this is going to be a really expansive full moon for Pisces, but expansive on the way that like it goes down and opens you up, and that all of a sudden opens up the projector of your mind's vantage point of what's possible, where's possible, how to get there is whoa. So much new stuff is coming. But in order to get there, let's talk about these commitments you got to make. So we got to talk about not just those hard truths, confronting what's actually your belief, what's not, what's getting in your way, what's not, what's your calling, what's not. Also, you need to make some kind of formal commitment to Saturn and Aries in your 2nd house. And if you do, you don't have to, by the way, you're invited to, because if you do, this is all about a formal commitment to owning your value, to owning your true feelings and needs, your desires, getting your needs met in the second house, like truly owning what would it be like to live with more than enough, to expect more than enough, to have more than enough be the balance of the bank account of my resource in life so that I could live in a state of thriving versus surviving. What would that actually look like if I formally committed to that? And I committed to the other things that live in the second house, a formal commitment to the things that you bring to the table, your value. Are you committed to the value you bring to the table, to your own innate talents and gifts? Aries in the second house is like you're a born leader. You're here to pioneer. You're here to go first. You're here to show us, you're here to do something that has never been done. And then we're like, wait, let's all go this way. We all start following you. But trusting those Aries instincts that are just innate in you, truly trusting that courage, that boldness, just stepping into it. That's your follow through. That's how you formally commit to Saturn. And when you do that, when you formally commit to Saturn, that's when you get the Venus and Gemini introduction and attraction of new possibilities, new roadways, new supportive connections. I feel like new levels of peace, because we're talking about the fourth house. So Gemini in your fourth house, this is like all of a sudden there's this reorganization of the home space, of the family dynamics or your relationship and understanding of yourself in relationship to family members or where you come from. But there's a new understanding of what could be possible in this fourth house place where we create and tap into a feeling of security and stability. You can redefine stability and security on your own terms, and they can be terms you've never considered before because you've never considered doubling down on your commitment to yourself and your own value and your own self-worth, and you've never considered going as deep as you're going in your honesty around your calling, around what it is you really want to do and where you really want to go and what you care about, right? So this is giving a whole new landscape of traveling through your life. The destination is changing. It's changing to become deeper and more true and authentic, honestly, to you. And it's also going to result in a whole new way of organizing life and definitions of stability. So maybe you'll actually get a good home renovation. Maybe you'll move to a new foreign country and you'll suddenly be like, oh my God, it's so peaceful here. I finally answered the call and oh my God. Yeah, shouldn't have put that off for so long. Okay. And automatically in the background, just going to happen. It's going to happen in parallel, in partnership with all of those changes happening alongside this full moon and those commitments and new structures and organizations at home. You get a higher value trade-in, a better exchange in your third house. Well, this is like, okay. Now you all of a sudden realize there's so many other places in your neighborhood or people to connect to because you're not shying away from going to the places you've always wanted to go, but you've never gone because people like you, they never go there. You know what I mean? So maybe this full moon is also saying it's not just about moving across the country, but it's also moving into new spaces and places and putting yourself in an availability to be introduced and meet people, be in conversation with people. Maybe you're suddenly feeling like I can have the conversation and feel really excited or lit up or introduced to somebody, make this connection. Okay, this is an example. Is like if you are super into astrology and there's an astrology meetup that happens every week in your neighborhood, but you spend that hour every week going to, what would be a good, like, you go to like book club. You go to like Catholic book club, Christian book club. Maybe it's not even religious. I'm just trying to pull in ninth house topics, but you go to this book club and you don't really like this book club. People don't really light you up, but it's like the thing that, you know, your parents did that or your mom did that. And everybody you work with, they do that. Everyone you're friends with, they do that. And if you just stop going, they'd be like, well, where's she going? And if you didn't do that because you were doing the astrology, oh my Pisces rising. But this is the moment that you're kind of like fuck around and find out and realize that all of the old ideas of creating that stability and security in home or in my neighborhood, in my community, they're ready to be renovated. They're ready to change and mix things up. And when you give yourself permission to go to the places that nobody else is going to, oh my God, every day feels better. Your connections feel more fun. You feel more inspired. And when you come home, you're not worried about what anybody else is saying. You already broke the seal. So They don't have that power over you. More internal security is formed, which is cool. That's cool. I like that. I like that for you. All right, Pisces, let me know. How does that resonate? Drop in the comments below. I'm going to go ahead. We're going to pull your tarot card for this Scorpio full moon. Okay, so Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, 2 cards came out for you today. And I think it's actually a very interesting pair because of the Venus connections. So you've got the 9 of Discs and the 4 of Wands, and both are reversed. 4 of Wands, completion, Venus in Aries. 9 of Discs is gain, Venus in Virgo. Both of these cards are Venus in a sign that she has difficulty in. Venus being our value, our pleasure, our connections, relationships, the resources we get through other people, right? But they're both reversed. So there's really, really good things that you're not letting yourself have. I just have this feeling it has to do with the Venus thing. Are you trying to put on some sort of false image of having it all together? Are you trying to do everything on your own? Are you afraid to ask for help? Are you afraid to lean into the resources of support? There's also something with Venus in Virgo with this 9 of Wands reversed. This is saying, if it was upright, this is a good harvest card. We're harvesting the fruits of our labors. When it's reversed, something's blocking us from harvesting our rewards, harvesting our efforts. And because Venus is in its fall, it's something blocking your heart, blocking your willingness and your courage to be vulnerable enough to say, I can let myself be seen. I can let myself be appreciated. I can let myself be helped. I think that there's so much about relationships that will help you if there's something that's coming up for you, Pisces. If you're feeling stuck or you're feeling like no matter what I do, I'm spinning my wheels, I can't get to this completion or this gain. Everything feels like it's never ending. You might be the very one that's doing that. You might be the very one that's preventing that, but it's because you're preventing yourself from seeing how many people would love to collaborate with you and help you. But you got to go to the weird meetup. You got to go to the weird meetup. You got to put yourself out there. You got to come out of whatever weirdo thing you're into. You got to come out of that closet and you got to put yourself into environments and connections and conversations with other people who are weirdos just like you. So that the more you do that, the more gain. It's more sustainable and it's going to be an even bigger harvest. It's funny though, because we always think about if we collaborate or we do it with somebody, then we got to split the gains, split the harvest. But you forget that the harvest you get is exponential than what you could get if you just did it all yourself. So Pisces, how does that resonate? How's that feel? What's going on for you? What comes up when I read those cards? How are you doing? Will you please comment below and tell me your rising sign if you're not a Pisces rising, you were listening for your sun sign or your moon sign. I would love to hear. And also, if you haven't already, please, it helps me out so much. Can you hit that like button? You can hit the hype button if you want. That'd be cool. And also maybe share this video, share it with your friends, share it with your family. Share it with the other weirdos, Pisces, just saying. And if you want to join our community, actually just be in this cozy community where we talk cosmos, hit the subscribe button, turn your notifications on, settle in, get cozy. Then I would love to have you here every single week. I would love that. No pressure though, you know? I want you to do you, babe. But yeah, I'll be thinking about you, Pisces. I love you. I appreciate you so much for being here. Thank you. I'm wishing you the best full moon. And that's the end. That is the end of our horoscopes and this horoscope episode. Thank you, everybody, so much. If you stayed all the way to the end and you're still watching right now, God bless your deepest part of your soul. I appreciate everybody, and I'm wishing everybody the most badass redemption arc ever. And you know, even if it's messy, it's going to be cathartic and worth it. I have that. I feel that. I feel that for us. I feel it for all of us. All right. I will see you next time when we get cozy. We talk about the next transits of the next week and all the cosmic shit. Thank you, everybody. See you next week.